What's up, guys? Jason of New Age Revolution. Not down in the cave, but up here in the the room that we all lovingly call the theater room, which is just a second living room with a bunch of comfy sitting accoutrements, also known as couches. The television. Anyway, you know how it is. But I showed you yesterday that I've finally been allowed to display my physical media, and there's a few shelves left, but hopefully in time there'll be little extra shelves next to it to continue the theme. Last week we did a movie show where I talked about any movies that I had watched, and it seemed to go over well, so we're going to keep doing it. We'll probably do it from this setting, but now we're going to include movies that I have bought recently, and what I do is I buy them and then I put them in a stack near my other TV room where I watch all my stuff, and I just go through them one at a time and just start picking them off. So first I'll talk about the movies that I watched, and then we'll talk about the movies that I bought and will be watching and reviewing maybe next episode. And when I say review, look, I'm not a connoisseur of fine film. Okay, I don't know how to, find the artisticness, the art, the I don't know what words do people use? The cinematography and the whatever, character strengths and character arc. And look, I watch a movie. If I don't fall asleep and I kind of go at the end, that means it was a decent movie. And if I don't, then I didn't like it. And my movie tastes are weird. There's movies that I hate that people are just like, oh, how could you possibly hate that movie? Well, and this one might be an example. So these are two. We'll talk about three movies that I watched. Two I own. One I got on Shudder, just because. Was it Shudder or Netflix? No, it was Shudder. Get Shudder. Everybody get Shudder. It's like I don't know. You can get it in a package where it's like $2.99 a month. If you get it standalone, dog. If you get it standalone, it's like $4.99 a month. I don't know, but I just get it. It's good, and there's a lot of. I'm not really usually a fan of, lower budget movies, but Shudder puts out their own movies, and they're good, and I like them. So we'll talk about a Shudder movie that I got only because of the concept, what was going on in the movie, because I'm freaked out by this thing. Anyway, I'll tell you. So we have two movies here. One I loved, one I didn't. One was kind of in the middle. That's the one that I bought, concept-based only. So this will surprise you. This will show you that I am not a movie connoisseur. I bought The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly from Goodwill for, I don't know, $2.99 are their Blu-rays. And because I was like, well, why? Of course I should like it. Look, I've desperately wanted to like Westerns since I was a kid. My dad was a big Western fan, and there was a period of time where TBS would just go nuts with Westerns, and they would just have Clint Eastwood stuff on all the time. And then, of course, like, Bonanza and I don't know, the Waltons, or I don't know, those TV shows that dads always liked. So I was like, I don't know, why can't I be a Western fan? And apparently, this is one of the, one of the big ones. This was supposed to be this groundbreaking, big deal. Directed by Sergio Leone, of course starring Clint Eastwood, young Clint Eastwood. Cool Clint Eastwood. Well, guys, look, I'm going to be honest, through all of these, I didn't even finish this. This is three hours long. Why can't they just put the time like right there, because that's what everybody's looking for all the time. It should just be right there in the biggest the biggest handwriting ever should be the time. Right on the, forget all this stupid stuff back here. It should just be 3 hours, just plastered right there. It was long. It was long. Man, is my eyesight just going or what? But oh, 179 minutes. 179 minutes. So that's what? That's 2 hours and I don't know. 2 hours and it's almost 3 hours. It's almost 3 hours. It's a minute less than 3 hours. And I'm my kid's math teacher. Well, guess what? I watched it in like 3 nights. I watched an hour a night, and by the end, I was fading, and I stopped it. And then by the 4th night, I was like, I don't want to finish it. So I put it away. I didn't finish The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Whatever. I don't know. I got a few other Westerns in this pile the same day I bought this one. Somebody must have dumped off all their Westerns. I'm not a 3-hour movie guy at all. And this is... whatever. So I'm a bad movie fan. On the other hand, Hereditary, I saw some other movie guy talking about this, and he said how terrifying it was. So I was like, ooh, I like terrifying, even if it's dumb. So I got this off Amazon for like $6, and it's got what's her name in it? Toni Collette. Toni Collette, I don't love Toni Collette. And it's got like this new kid in it. She's a new actress. I think her name is Millie Shapiro. Millie Shapiro. Right? That's this little girl. And this was fantastic. This was good. And they say this generation's The Exorcist. I didn't get that. I didn't get that. You know, basically, I don't know. How much information do you want on these? How can I... well, it's good. It's good. You know, it's a family. Mom, dad, this little girl, and, like a senior in high school son, who's probably like 33 in real life. But, some bad stuff happens to the little girl in the middle of the movie. And then the second half of the movie is stuff that happens after the bad stuff happens to the little girl. I'm trying not to give you any spoilers, because there's a big thing that happens in this movie right in the middle. And if I tell you, then you know. But, it's like a possession movie. It's a possession. But who's possessed? And, sometimes these possessions have to find new bodies to live in, right? After stuff happens to old bodies, or other bodies just get old. And so it's a possession movie. And it's good, and it's creepy. And there's a lot of those moments in movies that I really like, with the creepiness. And not necessarily jump scares. Like, there's one scene, doesn't ruin anything. There's one scene where somebody is, like, floating in the background. You're focusing on the kid, or you're focusing on the person on the screen, right? And then in the background, if you happen to look, somebody's just floating right by, and you're like, what the? I like that. I like that stuff. Right? There's another scene where, again, somebody's coming into a room and everything's cool, but then if you look up in the corner, somebody's hanging out at the ceiling. They're up there. They're just like crouched up at the ceiling in the air. I loved it. I love that kind of stuff. So Hereditary is really good. Really good. I like it. I think maybe if I do these, I'll just tell you that there's going to be spoilers. Or maybe not. I don't know. I don't want to spoil stuff, but I for $5 or $6, or I'm sure it's somewhere streaming, get Hereditary and watch it. It's really good. The other one that I saw is a movie called Broadcast Signal Intrusion. Broadcast Signal Intrusion. And that is a Shudder movie. That's from Shudder. And the reason that I got it was I love TV. I don't know. I'm afraid of televisions, right? We all are, because of Poltergeist. You know that. we were always afraid of kids or we were always afraid of televisions as kids. And, it's still one of those things that sticks in me. I remember there was a movie called Ju-On that I love, The Grudge. And there's a television scene in that where the TV freaks out. And that was the scariest scene in the world of all time for me. So broadcast signal intrusion is about stuff that actually happened in the 80s when hackers would interrupt television broadcasts with some, crazy message. Sometimes it was a message that was like political. Sometimes it was just scary, like remember the Max Headroom interruption? Go check that out. It's on YouTube. A television show was interrupted by a guy wearing a Max Headroom mask, and he was just doing weird, creepy stuff, like in and out of, and they only last like 20 seconds. And they're terrifying. And those guys, a lot of those big hacks were never caught. Like the Max Headroom guy was never caught. So there was probably like a handful of those things that happened back in the day. But this movie builds off of that and makes it seem like it's happened more often. And there was one consistent broadcast interruption that was connected with some murders and some disappearances. And so the girlfriend of the guy in the movie is either abducted or killed or whatever, and he thinks that these broadcast interruptions are part of the murder. So he wants to hunt down the person that did all these things. And so he goes on a hunt for him, and so he goes and it's just creepy. He goes and watches like the old footage of the interruptions, and he's looking for clues, and he finds clues in the videos that people just completely overlooked. So that was cool. Not that great of a movie, and really an anticlimactic ending. But I just liked the theme. I liked the concept because I'm freaked out by those things. So it wasn't like a haunted TV movie. That would be cool. It was about these broadcast interruptions that actually happened in the 80s, and they're fun and they're creepy. Go watch it. Just Google like Max Headroom broadcast interruption, and boom, it'll come up. All right, these are all movies that I got. Some of these for my birthday that I already showed you. But here we go. This was at a garage sale for a whole $1. It's got a slipcover, which Blu-ray collectors go crazy about. And most of the time, I just toss these out because they hang out of my shelf weird, right? I like all my stuff to be uniformed. And these things with slipcovers kind of hang off the shelf a little bit. So usually I just toss these. But I know that like Blu-ray collectors would freak out about that. This was $1. Trading Places, Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Murphy. I have not seen this yet. These are all movies that I have not seen that I will hopefully review, talk about openly and honestly in the next episode of, At the Movies. That we'll call it At the Movies with the New 80s Revolution. Okay, sure. Trading Places. I love Eddie Murphy, and I don't love Dan Aykroyd all that much. And Jamie Lee Curtis is in here. And I don't love her at all. Wait, is she in here? Is that her? I think that's her. Might not be. Yeah, that's her. It's got to be her. I don't know. Looks like her. I'm such a movie guy. Yeah, she's in here. I think this is. I've seen this in bits and pieces again on TBS throughout the years. I think Eddie Murphy's like a down on his luck homeless guy or whatever, and he somehow trades places with the rich Dan Aykroyd. I don't know. Anyway, 35th anniversary Blu-ray for $1 at a garage sale. This one I got when I got The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. This was at Best Buy. Not Best Buy. This was at Big Lots for $5. A double feature. Hondo with John Wayne. How long is Hondo? Because if it's like 3 hours, of course I won't find it. But if it's long, I'm not going to sit through it. Unless it's better than The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Oh, this is only 83 minutes. Oh, that's awesome. That's like a really short movie. All right, so Hondo, and then a more modern True Grit with Jeff Bridges and Matt Damon and Josh Brolin. That one I'll watch. For some reason, you know, modern westerns with modern actors I can sit through more than the old stuff. But we'll go through John Wayne, Hondo, and True Grit at some point. Probably later than sooner. This one I got for my birthday. I'm looking forward to watching it. A 4K of The Invisible Man. Whatever. I've heard, some good things about it, but the Blu-ray is down to like $5 on Amazon, but the 4K was, of course, $19.99 or something. But I don't know if it's a Universal Monsters Invisible Man remake, or if it's more of a I assume it's going to be more of a horror-ish movie. Boyfriend dies, I guess, and then just comes back as the Invisible Man. But we'll see why it's scary. I don't know if it's her boyfriend. Why does he want to kill her? Maybe it's a bad relation. Yeah, it's a violent, controlling relationship, and then he dies. And then, of course, since he's violent and controlling, he comes back in his death as the Invisible Man. We'll see how it goes. That's next. Dogs, yeah, they're loving it. Birthday present, Better Off Dead. This is my my quest to... See, when you get 3 dogs, we've always had 1 dog or 2 dogs, but when you get 3 dogs, their personalities are just pulled out. And now the dogs are always wrestling and fighting, playing, but they've got so much energy now that there's more dogs here. It's weird. So if your dog just lays around and doesn't do anything, get another dog, and you'll have a brand new dog. Better Off Dead. This is, like I said, my quest to get a whole bunch of 80s movies that either I never saw or can't remember seeing. But this will be fun. Better Off Dead. Those classic cheeseball 80s comedies, John Cusack. Summer of '84 was for my birthday. I sort of kind of liked this. But then I said, well, I want to watch it again, and I love the fact that it's, one of these 1984 movies, an attempt to recreate, the atmosphere of the 80s. And this is a child kidnapping movie because it's the summer of '84 when your kids weren't safe from bad guy kidnappers. Not necessarily horror, but a whodunit kind of deal. The kids are pretty much become their own little investigators and want to find out who's picking off their friends. Summer of '84 is fun. The cover's pretty. The cover would indicate a scary movie with the skeleton face there on the milk carton, but it's not like a ghost movie or a horror movie or anything. This one I got from Target just because they put out a new batch of stuff at Target with these weird new slipcovers. And I've never seen this movie at all, but I've heard lovely things about it. I think all of you have probably talked about how loaded this movie is with 80s nostalgia and Easter eggs and blah, blah, blah. But this is Ready Player One, apparently from Steven Spielberg. I don't know. I'm sure he had, nothing to do with it. But Ready Player One. Oh, actually, he's the director. Cool. Yeah, that's what it says. Who knows? Science fiction action adventure reveals a chaotic, collapsing world in the year 2045. Salvation lies in the Oasis, a fantastical virtual reality universe created by the brilliant and eccentric James Holliday. When Holliday, I don't know, whatever. So there's a lot of 80s goodies in here. And I've never seen it, and I want to see it. Everybody says, the book is so good, and, so of course I got the movie, because I'm not going to read a book. The other one that I think I want to try is that movie Pixels. I want to see if that's any good. It's got Pac-Man on the cover. But Ready Player One we'll give a shot. We'll give a watch. Jeez, this is so goofy. This one I bought from Goodwill with the intention of selling it because it was selling for like $16, but it didn't sell for like 8 months. So now I'm just like, well, I watch movies now, so I'll just keep it. I don't know anything about this stupid movie, Letter from an Unknown Woman. I just scanned it at Goodwill, and it was it was getting like $16, but it didn't sell. And I even like brought it down to like $10. It didn't sell. I don't know, an old silly 40s movie or 1948 or whatever. We'll see. I'll sit through it. This one I've always wanted to. No, this is not true. This one I never wanted to watch because I don't like sci-fi. I don't like science fiction. But I was like, all right, let me really think of some, quintessential 80s movies. And this one just kept coming up on all the lists, and I was like, I'm not going to watch that. There are toys for it, and if I love this movie, I might end up buying a toy or two. Tron, right? The original Tron. I have no idea. I read about it here in the little write-up, and it seems okay. It's about it's a video game movie. Video game designer gets sucked into his own game, or whatever. I think it'll probably be. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to end up going, oh my god, I love this. That's what's going to happen. Tron, I'm going to probably watch sooner than later. A lot of these are going to be later than sooner, but sooner than later, another Goodwill pickup for $1 because it's a DVD. The Poseidon Adventure. I love disaster movies. I love Titanic. I really do love Titanic. I love this movie called The Towering Inferno about a burning building. And I think this is like Titanic before the Titanic. The Poseidon Adventure about, of course, a sinking ship. And I love those kind of movies where people are, everything's starting off lovely and everybody's happy and you got some annoying characters that you hope that will die first. And then you got like somebody that you can pick out who's going to be the hero. And then there's always a kid. And then something suddenly starts to go wrong, and they keep it quiet from everybody for a while, and then boom, all hell breaks loose, and the whole thing is sinking. So I like this, and I probably have never seen it, or I've never seen it straight through. I know that, but it's got a pretty decent cast. It's all these movies had, like the Towering Inferno had a lot of little cameos from a lot of big names. This has got. Gene Hackman and Ernest Borgnine and Red Buttons. That's probably going to be a cameo. He's probably on the boat as part of the entertainment committee. Carol Lively, Roddy McDowell, Shelley Winters is in this. So, fun. And this will be a sooner than later. This one I don't even know if I'm going to be able to sit through. Liam wanted to watch all of the King Kongs and all of the Godzilla movies. So I went out one day and found all of them. Through this used record shop that we have in town, and then Walmart and stuff. I got all of them, right? All the big ones. None of the cheapy independent ones, but like Godzilla vs. Kong and the 1994 Godzilla, and then the next one that came out like 10 years later, and Return to Skull Island, and then this one. King Kong. This was $5 from that used record store. We started watching it with him, and it's way over his head. It's kind of an adulty movie. It's 3 hours. I put it in my pile to watch because I just feel like I need to learn how to sit through stuff and experience stuff if I'm going to watch movies. So I don't know how great this is going to be. It's set in like the 40s, I think. 30s or 40s. 3 hours and 8 minutes. Oh, God. So we'll see. I don't know. Jack Black is in it. I don't really like him. And Adrian Brody. These guys were like popular big time in the 90s. But we'll try to watch King Kong probably over several nights. But I'll let you know if I liked it or not. All right. When I was pulling up these movies, I was scanning every one of them into Blu-ray.com, which is now my catalog. So Blu-ray.com is a good free app that allows you to, scan the backs of your movies and have them in a list. So when you're out at Goodwill and you're like, do I have Happy Gilmore? You can look now on your phone. And it doesn't take any up, like if I put all these movies in notes, I'd have to type for days. But you just scan the barcode and it adds it right in. It puts it in alphabetical order. It's a pretty good app. So as I was scanning, I realized that I had a Halloween box set. I think it was the 10-disc box set. Or there's like an 8 and a 10 or a 10 and a 15. I don't know. There's a bigger one and a smaller one. Blu-ray box set. I got the smaller one. But that smaller one sells for about $199 or more, right? So I hate Halloween. I'm sorry. I don't like it. I don't like it. I actually prefer the Rob Zombie Halloweens. They're better. I like them better. I just don't like Halloween, right? So I sold that box set and made like $200, which was crazy that people would be paying that much for Blu-rays today. This is coming from a guy who's going and buying Blu-rays, but I'm not going to buy a $200 box set. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to buy a $200 box set. Okay. Right. So I sold it. But I really like Halloween 3, of course, because it's not anything to do with Halloween. And I like the Rob Zombie ones. So selling that box set, I lost the Rob Zombie ones, and I lost Halloween 3. So I went back and bought Halloween 3 from Amazon for like, $8. I love this movie. I love it. It's fun. It has nothing to do with Michael Myers, has nothing to do with the Halloween franchise. Total standalone movie, and I love it. And there's currently a double feature of the Rob Zombie movies in my Amazon list. That's about $11.99. I'll get that too. And then I've got the Halloween movies that I want. That's it. I've been getting more and more into Rob Zombie movies. So this is good, Halloween 3. And then this just came yesterday. This was a few bucks. Also on that Blu-ray.com app or Blu-ray app, it has sales. It updates all the sales that are going on Amazon and iTunes and whatever. I don't use that, so it's the Amazon part for me. And it tells me when movies go on sale. So this movie was like $4.99. Stand By Me. Classic. Probably a movie that I've seen straight through, but in many different clips on USA or TBS or TNT or something like that. But now I'm going to sit down and watch it all, maybe even in one night. Stand By Me. I'll see what the big deal is. Is it really one of those awesome feel-good kid 80s movies, or is it like, okay. But I'm going to watch it. So Stand By Me. So that's my pile of stuff that I have to watch still. Right there. Okay? And then we talked about the movies that I watched, and we talked about the movie that I couldn't sit through, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Sorry about that, if that insults any of you. Anyway, physical media. Let's, I don't know. We got to support it. We're obviously not going to get it in stores. Best Buys are dropping off like crazy. They're getting rid of their Blu-rays very rapidly. Walmart is shrinking. Target is shrinking. We're going to have to order these all offline, but if we stop ordering, they're going to stop making them. So, I don't know. Let's keep it going. Love my physical media. That's it. That's the movies. We'll see you next time. Good night now.